At this point, let's bring in political commentator Attorney Jesus Falsis. Attorney Falsis, welcome back to Storycon.
Good afternoon, Sir Ed. Good afternoon sa lahat po ng nandyan sa studio.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Attorney Jesus
Hi,
Falsis.
Attorney.
With emphasis doon sa Jesus.
Parang may hangover pa kayo kagabi, ah.
Kaya nga eh. It's like, can we just... Paghiwalay na nga namin itong dalawa.
Di ba pinagdampot niya si Attorney Falsis kagabi?
Ha? Siya ba yun? Siya ba yung guest mo?
Anyway, Attorney
Okay.
Jess, 'cause we just spoke with the attorney, NBI Director Matibag, and he stands by his earlier statement that Bato is still armed and dangerous. Ikaw, kayo po ay naglabas ng ng lista ng mga firearms, 118 firearms listed in Bato's name a few days ago. Does that surprise you?
It surprised me very much kasi nung una kong sinabi na armed and dangerous si Senator Bato, I was under the premise na he was a former PNP chief. So I assumed, wala pa akong facts noon, na meron siyang onting firearms.
Konti.
Si Senator Robin nga, madaming firearms eh. Hindi pa siya ex-PNP chief. What more si Senator Bato? But with the source that I got, that he has 118 firearms, all the more na talagang dapat considered as armed and dangerous si Senator Bato.
But on the other hand, si Director Matibag was saying na maybe that's not so unusual kasi Digong daw had 300 firearms in his name.
378 licenses. Licenses or firearms?
Hindi ko po kasi alam kung saan nanggagaling si Director Melvin Matibag. He might be an expert, no? Matagal na siya sa politika, matagal na siya sa ganyan, alam na niya yung mga ganyan. Ako as an ordinary person, kahit abogado po tayo, I am still shocked to know na mayroong senador na may 118 firearms because logically for me, paano yun? Para saan po yung 118 firearms? Para ka nang may private army kasi may private stash siya ng firearms.
Kasi si Ronald daw baka, sabi ni Director Matibag baka ganun din daw yung dami ng baril.
Wala lang gano'n. Let's not go there. No?
Papa-investiga ka namin.
Oo. Pero meron akong tutol sa sinabi ni Attorney Jesus Falsis.
Ano?
Siya daw ay isang ordinaryong tao lamang. No?
Okay.
Ano yung sabi niya? Ordinaryo. Kaya,
Ordinaryong tao that has a
ang daming-
Tweety bird.
Ang daming...
Who is your Tweety bird, Attorney
Ang daming
Falsis?
Tweety bird, tapos ordinaryong
Wala
tao.
po akong Secretary Llamas, wala po kasi akong firearms. So nakakagulat po talaga sa akin yung 100 plus.
So wala kang balak na mag-citizen's arrest kay Bato, Attorney?
They already-
Wala po talaga kasi talo po ko dun eh. Sa size pa lang ni Senator Bato, hindi ko siya madadakip.
Okay, let's talk about the Supreme Court TRO decision. First off, I saw your post, Attorney Falsis. You said merong nag-lobby the Supreme Court to issue a TRO against the ICC. Could you talk us through that?
Meron po tayong source, no? Of course, baka po marinig po ito ng Supreme Court. With all due respect to them, meron lang po nagsabi sa atin na may mga sumusubok. Pero naniniwala po tayo sa Supreme Court at sinabi nga ng aking Tweety Bird na hindi nagpatinag po ang Supreme Court at they just decided really on the merits or the arguments of both parties.
So there was
Pero
some
attorney,
lobbying.
normal naman yun, di ba? Matagal ka na rin naman sa law. Talaga naman lagi may mga naglalabi kung saan sa ang korte, including the Supreme Court.
Or especially the Supreme Court.
Wearing my political science hat po, no, hindi po as a lawyer, para hindi po ako masyadong maano ng Supreme Court. As a political scientist, in all democracies, in all countries in the world, pwede naman pong may lobbying talaga sa government, kahit na Supreme Court. Let's just look at the United States. The United States Supreme Court, may lobbying po talaga dyan, even at the Supreme Court level.
Well, Attorney, I'm
Ang
sure
tanong lang
you've
kung
gone through all...
magpapasway.
Sige po, go ahead.
Ngayon lang sabi ko lang, ang tanong lang kung magpapasway nga yung nilalabi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Attorney, I'm sure you've gone through all the concurring and dissenting opinions ng Supreme Court, at least those published sa Supreme Court website. Mukhang yung those concurring were very passionate about their concurrence, and those dissenting were also very very passionate about their dissenting. So mukhang hating-hati ang Korte talaga. I mean, there doesn't seem to be that much room for gray area as far as at least these opinions were concerned. Like for example, si Hernando was saying Section 17 was unconstitutional. The ICC has no jurisdiction. Tapos si Kagiwa was saying na the court should not come to the rescue of an individual who is charged with mass murder. So parang linyado yung dalawang kampo. Does that surprise you to begin with? And how do you expect the main case to play out?
Ito po yung aking pansin dyan, no? Yung main resolution po na hindi concurring, hindi dissenting, yung actual decision po, no?
Yeah.
Yun, napaka-balanse po nun. Kasi talagang tiningnan lang po niya yung element ng TRO. Wala po siya masyadong sinasabi tungkol sa substance of the case, the main petition or the main case mismo. Tama po napansin nyo, Sir Ed, na sa concurring at dissenting, more or less, makikita na po natin kung saan naglilin or leaning towards ang mga justices doon sa actual petition, hindi lang po sa TRO, doon sa elements or requisites ng TRO. But I would like to note na si Justice Inting, who is dissenting, siya yung pinaka parang neutral. More or less, nandun lang siya sa elements ng TRO or sa moot and academic doctrine. Unlike yung ibang dissenting na ako sa tingin ko po, kapag sa actual petition na, they will grant the petition for Bato, the four other justices na dissenting. Si Justice Inting, medyo hindi ko pa siya ma-predict based on his current dissenting opinion. On the other hand, dun sa concurring opinion naman, ang pinaka baka mahirap basahin dyan, magugulat kayo, would be Justice Leonen. Yung ibang mga nag-concur, more or less nakikita ko, they will deny the main petition ni Senator Bato, no? They will side with the ICC, that ICC has jurisdiction, that the warrant is enforceable. Yung kay Justice Leonen na concurring, although leaning towards
the denial,
Bato's petition, may room pa din sa pagkasulat ni Justice Leonen that in the end, he might grant the petition. But that is very hard to speculate.
Medyo
kasi
qualified
we
siya.
are just reading between the lines doon sa kanilang mga concurring and dissenting opinions.
Pero may ganun din kasing history si Marvic Leonen. Kung maalala mo, attorney, siya yung naglabas ng opinion justifying yung pag-alis ni Digong sa ICC without the concurrence of the Senate. Alala mo noon, ang debate kasi, dahil Senate ang nag-approve ng treaty, dapat Senate din yung mag-abrogate ng treaty. At very controversial yan noong panahon na yon. Ang nag-defend dun sa pag-alis without consulting the Senate ay si Marvic Leonen. Kaya medyo very tentative yung kanyang position regarding sa ICC.
Yes. Nung oral arguments ng kaso na yan, Cayetano versus Pangilinan 2021, mahirap din ma-predict noon kung saan maglilin si Justice Leonen ng oral arguments. So, nung final decision, doon na lang nakita na, yun pala yung decision niya.
Yeah. You mentioned Justice Inting, ito sabi niyo, the full implementation of the ICC warrant of arrest would render the present action moot. That's Henry Inting. Anyway, sorry Ami, you were saying.
Attorney, may option din naman yung Supreme Court na wag na lang aksyonan yan, maghintay na lang na ma-aresto lahat. And afterwards, sasabihin, moot na eh. Kasi ibig ko sabihin, naalala ko lang yung ginawa nila kay Erap eh.
Opo. Ako,
Diba?
hindi ko po yan ina-advocate at hindi ko po sinasabing yan ang mangyayari. Pero tama po kayo na nangyari na po yan, lalo na kay President Duterte.
Yes.
Actually, reklamo yan ng mga DDS
Moot
lawyers
na siya.
na napakatagal na po from last year nung inaresto si President Duterte at wala pa daw desisyon. So wala daw guidance for Senator Bato or for Senator Bongo, yung ibang co-perpetrators, na napakatagal daw magdesisyon ng Supreme Court. So even yung kay Senator Bato, yung main petition niya, I can see that happening na hahayaan lang ng Supreme Court na gumulong ang oras tsaka ang history, unfortunately.
Hanggang maging moot.
One of the things that Senator De La Rosa's camp failed to establish was that he had a right in esse. Could you explain to us, the lay people, attorney, ano ibig sabihin ng they failed to establish that he has a right in esse for judicial protections?
Yes. So, yung mga concurring opinions po tsaka main decision, I agree with that. Sa tingin ko po, tama yun. Nasabi ko na yan sa ibang interview. May 4 po kasing elements or requisites ang TRO. The first is clear and unmistakable right. Second is a material and substantial invasion of the right. The third is that the invasion of the right would lead to irreparable injury. And the fourth one is that there is no other ordinary or speedy remedy that Senator Bato can claim or that Senator Bato can use. Yung sa first element na sinasabi nyo, Ma'am Regina, clear and unmistakable right usually refers to something textual. Dapat, nasa konstitusyon, nasa batas, merong klaro, hindi na siya in dispute, na karapatan. Ang sinasabi ng mga abogado ni Senator Bato, he has the right to due process, not to be deprived of liberty without due process, and he also has a right against unreasonable searches and seizure. No warrant shall issue except upon order of a court or upon order of a judge after examining probable cause. So nasa konstitusyon po yan. In fairness sa mga abogado ni Senator Bato, yun po yung kanilang claim. Ngayon, bakit hindi po naging klaro yung right na yun kahit na sinasabi nila nasa konstitusyon? Kasi meron pong mga nagpapalabo. Ang nagpapalabo naman yung karapatan ni Senator Bato ay yung ibang parte ng konstitusyon that talks about accountability, that talks about human dignity, that talks about international law. So tayo nga po ay naging miyembro ng ICC, although nag-withdraw tayo later, meron pong constitutional principle, international law is part of the law of the land. The right to human dignity shall be respected. Nasa Bill of Rights at Declaration of Principles po yan. So, dahil may dispute, ang sinabi ng main decision, hindi pala klaro. Hindi klaro na may right si Senator Bato not to be arrested by the ICC. Kasi may dispute eh. So until we decide the case, until there's a final decision by the Supreme Court, the right is not clear. So bagsak po sa first element ang petition ni Senator Bato.
On another note, attorney, ano lang, pwede ba kayo magsalita rito or sub judice? Ano lang status nung kasong final nyo kay Senator Chis Escudero?
Yung kay Senator Chis po, final po namin yan November 14, 2025. Natabunan yata kami nun kasi may ibang malaking balitang nangyari noong November 14. So kami po, akala po namin natutulog na lang yung kaso. Nagulat kami na a few days ago or last week na sinabi po ni COMELEC Chair George Garcia na gumugulong po yung kaso. Wala pa po kaming nakukuhang notices or updates from the COMELEC or a comment or answer from Senator Chis. So, para pong media, nag-rely lang din kami sa public pronouncement, wala pa po kaming personal update na talagang gumugulong yung kaso.
Could you, I wanted to, if you're okay, Ronald, I wanted to come back to yung petition ni Senator Bato. Of course, we already know at this point si Attorney Torion will file a motion for reconsideration. And then there's also Attorney Panelo commenting that mali daw yung petition na inihain in the first place, that they should have filed a habeas corpus instead of a certiorari. What are your thoughts on that, Attorney Falces?
Una po yung kay Attorney Torion na motion for reconsideration, karapatan naman po nila yan. But ang gusto ko lang i-emphasize dyan, the filing of a motion for reconsideration does not stay or does not stop the ICC warrant and the enforcement of the warrant. Kasi nga, dahil walang TRO, the status quo is the law enforcement and the Philippine authorities may implement the warrant.
But
ang desisyon ng gobyerno, enforceable and by manhunt, so they are implementing it.
We spoke to him.
TRO,
We spoke to him a few
no
days.
stoppage.
We spoke to him a few days ago. Sorry to interrupt. We spoke to him a few days ago, and it was his opinion that because the Supreme Court has not decided on the main arguments of the case, then the warrant is not actionable.
Sa akin pong legal opinion, with all due respect to Attorney Torion, who's a fellow lawyer, no, naniniwala ako dun sa principle, and even the DOJ probably follows this principle, kaya sabi ng DOJ, enforceable. What is not prohibited is allowed. So, no TRO, no stoppage of the enforcement of the warrant. So, mali po dun si Attorney Torion.
And then the habeas corpus, what do you think of that?
Yung sa habeas corpus po, no, ito indulge me, no, iba yung habeas corpus na suggestion ni Attorney Panelo kay President Duterte last year versus habeas corpus kay Senator Bato. Yung kay Senator Bato, I think mali pa din po yun kahit mag-habeas corpus. Kasi sa habeas corpus po, kailangan may actual deprivation
body.
of liberty. Of course, sinasabi ni Attorney Panelo, mayroon siyang sinasite na very isolated case ni Senator Juan Ponce Enrile noon na constructive deprivation. So, yun yung sinasite niya. Ako, I go with the fact na walang actual deprivation, walang right to habeas corpus. Yung last year naman po, na sinasabi niya, no, para to be fair to him, sa totoo lang, actually, it's a very good suggestion na in hindsight, imbes daw na dapat TRO sa Supreme Court agad, dapat nag-habeas corpus sila sa RTC Pasay, para magkaroon ng, ma-force ang government na magkaroon ng hearing to produce the body. So ang habeas corpus po kasi, ang ibig sabihin nun, produce the body. So pag nag-file sila sa RTC Pasay, imbes na sa Supreme Court, magkakaroon po sila ng quick remedy that the RTC Pasay will order the government to produce the body of President Duterte. So in fairness, last year, because there was actual deprivation and there was a 12-hour standoff sa Villamor Air Base tsaka sa Naiya, there was time to do that.
Actually, hindi nang paulit-ulit na binabagit ni Justice Leonen sa kanyang concurring opinion dito sa case si Bato that the case should have been habeas corpus after detention. With emphasis on that, after detention, not before detention. So, in that sense, partially agree, partially disagree siya with, with
the phrase that stood out to me was they thought that his threats were more imagined than real.
Yeah.
At this point.
Apo.
At this point.
Hindi nyo natatanong mga ma'am and sir, no? Pero ito, I wanna say this in relation with the dissenting opinion of Justice Fernando tsaka yung isa pang justice. Ang sinasabi po kasi nila, yung the power to surrender ay walang domestic procedure. Walang operationalization na batas that would say, how do you surrender?
I think it was Ami Javier as
So,
well and Hernando.
Opo. Ako, ang sagot ko po sa kanila, with all due respect to them, and hindi po ako legal luminary, no? Pero sana marinig nila, meron po kasing power ang Supreme Court to make rules. Under Article 8, may rule-making power po sila to enforce human rights and to protect human rights. So kung wala pa pong procedure ang power to surrender dahil nag-withdraw tayo from the Rome Statute at sinasabi ng mga abogado ni Senator Bato that the power to surrender has to be related to Article 59 of the Rome Statute, which of course sinasabi naman ng mga anti-Senator Bato ay hindi na applicable. So ako, with all due respect sa Supreme Court, lalo na sa mga dissenting, if they think walang domestic procedure, they should make one under their power to make rules to protect and enforce human rights. Sana marinig ng mga dissenting.
Mahalaga yung sinabi niyo, attorney.
Bitaw.
What is not prohibited is permitted. So parang yun yung ethos dito sa lahat ng ito.
Napaka-basic na legal principle po yan. What is not prohibited is allowed.
Kahit ako hindi abogado, alam ko yan eh.
Pero nabanggit nyo rin,
Walang
attorney,
TRO,
na
you go ahead.
hindi kayo legal luminary. Ano bang requirement para maging legal luminary?
May hawak na ilaw.
Si Ed kasi gusto niya maging legal luminary. Ayaw niyang learned lang eh.
Legal Illuminati.
Sa tingin ko, dapat mga political scientists or analysts, like yung sikat na Ronald Llamas, ang magsasabi sino ang legal luminary.
Medyo tututol yung katabi ko sa kanan.
Sa kanan, si Ed, when you're facing us.
Ang sama, nagbago na yung itsura.
I take offense. Okay,
Always.
but we'll leave that there. Thank you so much for talking to us, especially as I know you are on the road, but that was a political commentator and attorney, Jesus Jess Palsis.
Tawag niya sa sarili niya, legal
Thank you,
disruptor.
attorney.
Thank you, sir.